Alrighty, it looks like we are set to go for our next game, which is Prince of Persia. We are doing Epilogue any % with our runner, EmeraldAly. Alright, Emerald, you are up, my friend. Well, it's pretty much stayed the same. So Jade from Beyond Good and Evil will be Elika's costume, and it looks like you get to pick. We'll do one, yeah.
Alright, I'll just go with Sands of Time since I figured that would be the one that would win anyway.
Before we start here, I do have to unfortunately interrupt here. There was a setup error. I think your mic is way too quiet. They cannot hear you on stream, just letting you know. You need to up your mic. They cannot hear you on stream, just letting you know. You need to up your mic.
Okay. I can't.
Okay.
Any higher.
1 second. I'm just making sure this isn't.
1 second. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, your mic is like super quiet. In that case, just turn down your desktop capture by like minus 10 decibels. Okay, then turn it down another 10.
That's where it was when I started.
Okay, then turn it down another 10.
No, that's where it was before I started changing things in the intermission. It's at minus 10 right now. I can turn it down.
That's much better. That's much better. They can hear you now.
Thank you.
All right. That's much better. That's much better. They can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Sands of Time Prince and Elika Princess is the combination of costume, or Jade Princess, Jade Elika, is a combination of costumes I had on the first time I got world record in this game. So,
there you go.
Yeah, you'll notice that one is unknown. That is supposed to be Altair from Assassin's Creed, but it was a time exclusive.
It's okay, I didn't have that on my game either.
It's okay, I didn't have that on my game either. Alright. Looks like we're ready to go. We do load a save file parked at the very beginning of the epilogue to not have to sit through the 2-minute and 12-second otherwise unskippable cutscene. And time starts at first movement. I will count you in. They're saying audio.
I think that was from earlier when they couldn't hear you. I believe you're good to go.
Okay. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So this is Prince of Persia Epilogue. This is the console exclusive. Kinda has to have an asterisk next to it these days since they are working on emulating it, but console exclusive DLC episode to the Prince of Persia reboot. It's completely linear as opposed to the quasi-open world 2K8 base game, so that gives it a lot more potential for sequence breaks. Although, with that said, the base game has actually come quite a ways over the last year and a half or so. The time for that run has come down over an hour since I first joined the community. But I still think this is a better run, more fun run. This opening hallway here, that's a little minor glitch that can sometimes happen, is when you lean left with the character, he goes up the fissure. This first little hallway here is just some very basic parkouring that you would certainly be familiar with if you played the 2K8 game. Here's our first enemy, the Morning King. This is Elika's father, Elika being our cohort. And in context, it makes sense why he's covered in black goop.
Are you all right?
First thing we have to do is roll over to Elika. Rolling is faster than walking. And wake her up. As soon as we see her stir, we can do this. Alright. Now that was an unblockable 9-hit combo. We didn't even do all of it, actually. We use that combo each of the first 3 times we face the Morning King. We face him 4 times. We didn't even do the whole thing there. The second time we face him, we'll do 1 full combo. The third time, we'll do 2.5. He has more health with each encounter.
Glad you could join me.
Right, and she's mad at us because we brought her back to life at the end of the base game. It's another thing that makes sense in context, and I think I might be going on the wrong cycle. We're about to find out.
Keep doing that.
Yeah, a lot of these parkouring sequences, if you just start on the right cycle, you can just basically bomb your way through them. Yeah, I needed to go on the cycle with the 1 blob going up, not the 3 blobs. I knew that as soon as I jumped away. So that's unfortunate. But I usually, when I do this run for marathons that take donations, I will do $5 a death. So there's one.
I've got my pen and
Anybody
paper.
wants to keep counts?
I've got my pen and paper.
Happy to. And you can't, of course, this was one of the biggest criticisms that the game got when it came out. You can't, you cannot conventionally die in this game. A lot of people think that makes it a not so great game. It doesn't bother me so much. In fact, I like the continuity you get from it. You never have to go through a loading screen or anything like that. We're definitely on the correct cycle for this parkouring sequence. And, you know, also full disclosure, I have not done a complete run of this game in over a month. So, unlike most people, I actually have less free time nowadays than I did, say, 6 months ago, so I have not been able to practice and keep up with everything, but it should be okay. Yeah, one of the best ways in this game that you can go about turning a good run into a great run, I've already demonstrated it a few times, is ring run shorting. You can't do it every time, but most of the time when you encounter a ring like that and you run through it, you don't have to complete the wall run that follows the grabbing of the ring. And I especially love it here. I call this the wall is lava, because you just jump away from the wall over and over. Instead of doing the wall runs, it's only about 1 second faster, but 1 second counts. And I especially love shorting ring runs because the game explicitly tells you not to do it. Whenever you are in a loading screen, there's little gameplay tidbits, and one of them is always complete wall runs before jumping away. But not if you want to go fast. Alright, tricky skip here. I'll give this a few tries. Trying to wall run on the wall behind this ring.
Keep doing that.
That's not quite right. There is also a little baby skip you can do. Hey, there we go. I think. It's not quite over yet. Okay, I think we're good. This skip's a pretty lengthy parkouring sequence. There is a little baby skip you can do to skip, like... You still do most of the parkouring sequence, but you can skip the last couple of jumps with what I call the little baby skip. Alright, so now we're here. You're supposed to go forward into the poison air and climb up that ring on the wall over there, but that's slow, and we want to go fast. So we're just going to jump between these walls here. And that gets us up here much quicker.
The Ura were here. There's a doorway there.
Let's see what this does.
I think we can get across now.
First time I played this game, I don't know if there was some glitch in my download or what, but that ring right there was not there. I don't know what happened. So you're supposed to complete the wall run there and grip fall where the scratches on the wall are, but it's both faster and safer to manually start your grip fall so that you won't end up potentially running into those tentacles. Those tentacles grab you and quote-unquote kill you. This wall is very broken. Sometimes it decides you don't deserve to live, but that time it played along. Alright, big skip here. We're supposed to do a lot of parkouring around this room to get to a disc in the middle of it for our first fight against the shapeshifter. But you can instead double jump away from the vines and wind up on the big disc in the middle of the room. Takes the game a second to realize you're here. You notice the fight didn't spawn in right away. Okay, that's not good. Okay. Minor mistake there, nothing too terrible. So you'll notice this charge move, that is unique to the Epilogue DLC, that's not in the 2K base game. And anytime I ever do play the base game, or even watch speedruns of it, I'm always expecting it to be there. And most of the time it's scripted, whether you're able to charge the enemy or the enemy charging you. A few times it's random, this one is random. Yeah, sometimes you're able to charge the enemy there. Losing a charge roll, that's what I call them, charge rolls, to the hunter form, the small guy, it's not that bad. It's about a 1.5 second time loss. If you lose a charge roll to the warrior, it's more like a 10-second time loss, but there's only one of those in the game.
Ahriman is creating creatures from the corruption. But he must still be weak. He's using forms he's familiar with. Ones he can create easily.
So those weren't the corrupted?
They had no souls.
They had no souls. Okay, where am I? There I am. Alright, so we're about to use our first glitch. Had a couple of skips, but it was really just abusing intended mechanics. It was able to skip us around. This is a glitch. We're going to set a hang on the ledge we're on. Walk to the back of it. Jump forward, drop off the edge. And hey, look at that. Skip's having to do a lot of cycles, waiting on these blob cycles to get to this side of the room. And it's pretty easy. And, well, that's $10 for the charity. Supposed to do a wall run there. I don't know why I didn't. There we go. And there's no skip for these blobs. Gotta wait. Yeah, Elika physically exists in this world. She can't push you into the blobs, but if I was too far to the right on that fissure, say, having to physically go around her could have delayed me such that, and I could have made that cycle, but that's okay, could have delayed me such that I would have hit the blob on the other side anyway. You want to manually grip fall here as well, not grab that fissure. It's faster to get down this chimney anyway, but also it keeps the guy down here from spawning, this Ahriman soldier. There's 7 of these Ahriman soldiers in the game. They all have specific spawn triggers, and grabbing that fissure is the one for him. So we're supposed to grip fall down the room there, but instead we'll set a hang. Come back over here. We get up here. This is a ledge. Since this is a ledge we can drop off of, I take a pretty slow setup to this. Get to the end, switch places with her, take a step forward, jump forward and fall off. I think I fell off the wrong way. Yeah, I did. That's 3. Yeah, that's just, I haven't run the game in a month. Right there, so we'll do this again. Get up here, get to the back of this ledge, turn around, switch places with her, take a step forward, jump forward and fall off the correct side. Yes, this is correct. Take a look down, make sure we don't hit that blob, and we're grip falling out of bounds. This enables us to skip. You can even see a lot of the blobs in this chimney coming down, and you just skip past all of them.
Those times. Oh.
And you just land. You just land.
Wish
in
I knew that in
bounds.
my casual run.
Wish I knew that in my casual run.
There's several cycles you can go on here. Whoa, okay, that's never happened before.
Be careful.
I've never gotten eaten by those blobs before. I've gotten eaten by blobs later in this little hallway.
Let's go.
And you can kind of hang in midair a little bit and just delay when you jump forward again. that's what makes it possible to go on various cycles in that little hallway there. Alright, we're coming up on a major skip.
Keep doing
The
that.
skip that is the reason my estimate is as generous as it is. I hope it's still generous for this relatively rusty run. But my PB is 38.24 with still some room to improve. My estimate being 47. If I miss the skip that's coming up, it actually soft-locks the game. So it would be rip run for a PB attempt, but for the marathon, I just have to load a save file and try again, and that takes about 2 minutes. So can't miss it too many times. There's another really difficult skip later on, but there's a backup skip for the room that it's in. So if it all goes to hell in that room, I can just do the backup skip and save a little face.
Ahriman is trying to cut us off.
It's not lit. Maybe there's some sort of temple.
It's not
Somewhere
lit,
we can
fam.
activate the plate?
No.
Or there's another way out of here.
There is nowhere to go. Even if we escape here, there is nowhere to run to.
I can think of 100 places.
And Ahriman will follow us to all of them. Ahriman, his power is growing. He's getting closer.
Close isn't good enough. This isn't going to end like this.
And in the base game, you have to gather dozens, if not hundreds, of light seeds to power up the power plates. You see the red one in here? That's a carryover from the base game. But the purple one, the new one for the DLC, the prince just has to hit it once. Percussive
You hit it
movements.
until it works. Easy.
You hit it until it works.
Yeah.
Power holds!
So that's the new power in the DLC, is the ability to restore these ruins, and we certainly need them for our parkouring. It's also a bit of a plot hole, because the idea behind the power plates is that Elika's people, the Ura, used them eons ago to rule the land. Why would they have had the ability eons ago to restore ruins?
The corruption has gone down.
It's a little bit too highbrow logic there.
Escaped yet.
It's a little bit too highbrow logic there.
Total 5-head. Sometimes this happens. He just grabs the lever again. Okay. So you're supposed to turn 3 levers in this room. We're only going to turn 1. And you want to jump off there instead of completing the wall run. It's faster anyway. Plus it skips the high likelihood that the Prince and Elika will share a few wisecracks when they land. Don't go tripping up now.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, and there's also the animation of him catching her that is skipped. Okay, skip is coming up right here. Hopefully. Yeah, I really can't talk and do this. Sorry. Nope. That's unfortunate.
I'm just in awe watching you do all these skips and whatnot.
I'm just in awe watching you do all these skips and whatnot.
Come on. So this run is invalid. I have loaded a save file that was made a year and a half ago, so before the run. Hopefully this won't take too many tries. I'm a little worried now.
I think you're doing fine, so keep it up.
I think you're doing fine.
Homage sure takes big steps.
Appreciate the encouragement. Yeah, this is the closest place you can put a save file, and this, of course, is the save file I load to practice this skip. And thankfully, you don't have to listen to Elika say quickly while the power holds again. Yeah, that's a ring run you can't short, by the way, there. If you do try to short that one, you will fall to your quote-unquote death. Oh, and count that as a death, too,
Got it.
missing the skip.
The corruption has gone down.
There.
Got it.
We haven't escaped yet.
Okay.
Okay, if there are any spare bless RNGs laying around, this is the time. this positioning. Oh, how? What?
Keep doing that.
Okay, this is not good. Probably going overestimate. I tried to practice this before the run, and I only got it like 1 out of 5 times, so I thought that meant it would go well during the run. Isn't that usually how it goes?
This is a rush.
Glad you're so
Nice.
excited,
Like,
Prince.
for me, I'm just enjoying it. To be honest, I played this when it came out, and I'm a big fan of this game. So we were a small bunch of people.
I mean, it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
It's just your third try, your first try.
Corruption's gone down.
Yeah.
We haven't escaped yet.
Don't grab the lever. I don't even press anything when he does that.
This is a rush.
That's perfect positioning. There we go. You're not supposed to be able to hit that power plate right there until after you turn all 3 levers, but by hitting it, the game assumes you did and just despawns the black ooze at the bottom of the room.
Very nicely done.
First try on the third
Hey,
try.
that sounds
every
like a
time.
first try to me, so I think you're fine.
That sounds like a first try to me, so.
We got another fight against the shapeshifter here. This one's slightly more complicated because there aren't as many sheer drops, but it's still very easy. Just roll to the right once after the charge. Charge him one more time, and he's at the top. Now that's a charge roll right there. And so in addition to our lengthy combo to deal damage, we also have the throw combo right there, which takes the enemy a great distance. So that's why it doesn't matter too much if you lose a charge roll to the hunter, because he always starts up lined up with the drop, and by doing the throw combo, you push him back towards the drop.
That's not what Armin thinks.
You can also kill him by whittling his health down, but obviously that's really slow, and he has the ability to turn back into the warrior, and the warrior can't be damaged conventionally. He can only be, quote-unquote, pushed off the edge, which spurs him to turn into the hunter, who can be damaged conventionally. That's actually one of the trophies for the DLC. It's called Change Once Then Die. Defeating the shapeshifter after just one change of form. First few times I played this, I thought it was like really stupidly hard to do that because I was defeating the hunter by whittling down his HP. But it's kind of silly to do it that way. Small little time save here, you don't have to scamper up that fissure, you just jump away from it immediately. And since I'm not on a good run and I loaded the save file, I have no idea what cycles I'm on, so this will be fun. I might have been able to make that. If you're on a good run, you can definitely predict what blob cycles you will be on here.
I'm not going to let you go.
Prince always has to grab Elika's hand there, which is a little annoying. She has the literal ability to fly, so you'd think that she can look after herself. And I believe the spawn trigger for the next Armament Soldier is Elika grabbing your hand on this fissure, so I don't think he'll spawn. And he didn't. Definitely short ring runs here. I like this one because it turns you around a blind corner. There's another little bit of a ring run shorting coming up here. I used to call it the risky way to get through this little hallway. Now I kind of think of it as the safe way, because doing it the safe way is really slow and kind of awkward, so you just short this ring run and double jump away. Scamper on the wall a little bit here, grip fall. That puts you at the end of the fissure. And there's a really small sliver that you fit through there to get past that blob. And I believe Elika grabbing your hand there is the spawn trigger for this soldier. That is the last Armament Soldier, so we don't have to worry about them for the rest of the run. This is the other room with a major skip in it, with a very difficult skip in it. There is a backup, though.
How big is this place?
It's pretty big.
Let's see what those cranks do.
With any luck, we will not see what those cranks do. We set a hang and get into a very specific position here. We try to drop off the edge of this ledge. Too far forward. I think this is too far back. We'll try it. Yep. See, right there, that's another one of those cases where Elika physically existing in the world is kind of annoying. There we go. I have to count audio cues here. Alright, now we're here. We're not out of the woods yet. Okay, that wasn't terrible. There's 3 rings we have to pull in this room. Here's the first one.
One of the bars has moved.
There's supposed to be lengthy parkouring sequences that take you to all of them. We're able to jump across this tower to get us toward the next one, because that tower is never supposed to be in that position when you're at the platform with the first ring on it. Same reason for that obstructed camera view. That would ordinarily not happen.
Together.
From this point on, this is just the intended way of reaching this next ring. But they're all supposed to be parkouring sequences starting from the platform where you first enter the room. Second ring, and you're supposed to use the plate to go back to that platform after each one. This is a skip that anyone can do. Just jump off, not jump off, slide off, double jump immediately. Do it. Don't wait for the apex of the arc of your jump, and you're just here. They just put these rings too close together.
That's it. We can go on. That's let us reach the
And that's all 3. Okay, second fight with the Morning King.
Keep
We will do one full combo. Oh, there is one slight wrinkle to it. You jump off early in the Gritfall to not have to Gritfall all the way down. Saves you a couple seconds.
Ahriman seeks you. He can seek her, but he's not going to get her.
It is you he seeks. State your wish.
I wish you and Ahriman would go swallow yourselves.
4. So the wrinkle was that roll to the right we did before unleashing the combo. By doing that, the Morning King ends up in the middle of the arena after the combo. The combo takes exactly the amount of health he has in this fight. If you don't move to the left first, you don't even have to roll. You can just take a couple of steps to, and I said the left, I meant the right. I know my left from my right, serious. If you could just take a couple of steps to the right as well. If you don't do that, he will end up pinned against a wall at the end of the combo. And it still ends the fight in one combo, but you have to do the wall event, even though he's out of HP, and it's about a 10-second time loss. So we've seen the red power plate and the purple power plate that is unique to the DLC, and we are about to see the green power plate.
We must use the plates.
And I was going to say we should just hold hands and hope.
These are basically auto-scrollers, but you definitely have to keep your wits about you. You can run into some of these obstructions and quote-unquote die. And I've always thought it would be kind of cool to see them, and maybe the guys who were working on the emulator can make this happen, but I always thought it would be kind of cool to see these areas, what they look like when it's obvious which way is up and which way is down. They're not meant to be viewed that way, of course, but I think it would be
Just see what kind of maze you're literally working with at the time.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, that's unfortunate.
If you have a quick second, I can plug an upcoming board. Alright, well, the game following this is Fable, and there's actually a file name war going on. Right now, the current winner is our favorite Baguette, so if you want to change the file name to something different, make sure you get your donations in on the donation tab, speedrun.com/MSSF2020/donate. And now, back to the maze.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's perfectly possible to die in here. I guess I was obliged to demonstrate it. And I liken these, like, scratches on the wall. They show you a way through, and it's a way that works, but it might not be the best way, and I certainly don't follow them directly. I sort of liken it to if you ever play an open world game like a Grand Theft Auto. If you place a map marker in one of those games, the game will show you a way to get to that map marker, but it may or may not be the best way. This is not a charge roll. He will always charge you here. You have to charge him repeatedly and just use Elika combos to push him back. Since the throw combo obviously uses the throw action and he's way too big to be thrown. Just takes 3 Elika combos, or technically 2 2/3, but the difference between 2 2/3 is 1 Elika input, so not too significant. That one is a charge roll. So we can just do the throw combo, and he's heavy. You'll notice these single button QTEs that happen. The one for the edge event is always the same, it's always square. The other ones vary. They can be any of the guide buttons. Not guide buttons, face buttons. What am I saying? This right here is the room that...
It must be the mausoleum of Achaemenes, king of the
It is
Order
probably the
of
most
Death.
antithetical
He
to the
returned to
speedrun
liberate
because
his
it's
honor.
very long,
buried him
tedious,
underground.
and we do everything the
Not much
intended
of a
way.
reward.
He refused to be buried in the city.
There's been some hunting for a skip in this room, but it's never amounted to anything.
Pilgrims found his tomb. They built this.
And we should hope it is an omen. Ahriman can be stopped. But Princess, if I die in the cause, cremate me. These places give me the creeps.
You have time for another... Oop, go on.
And oh, I was just gonna say that this room also kind of, to me, violates the rule of good game design. It's not the end of the world or anything, but you always want the game world to feel like it doesn't exist solely for the player, and this feels like it exists solely for the player, because why would the Ura have had this giant hall with levers that turn sections of the wall across the giant hall from it? So, yeah, it just kind of sticks out to me a little bit.
You can't have a game without some good video game logic.
You can't have a game without some good video game logic.
Yep. Yeah, if you were gonna say something, it's
Alright, well,
totally fine.
got a
There's
couple
not
more
much happening
bid wars
here.
I can talk about. We have, and I'm hopefully not going to destroy this word, Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. We have two bid wars going on. We have either an English language or the Japanese language. We also have the option of whether or not the player breaks or doesn't break their controller. I'm not sure to what extent that breaking of the controller will be, but if you're curious and you want to see it, feel free to put in a donation to see that controller get broken. I'm
Save
just
the controller, man.
I just want to know the story behind that. Why do they want to break the controller?
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Definitely a unique bid war of all the ones I've seen thus far.
Definitely.
Let's move this.
Another quick goal we can talk about. We have hard mode as an option for Mighty Gunbolt Burst, so that's currently set at $45. So if you want to put that runner through a little bit more trouble in hard mode, make sure you put down some money for that and see what happens.
Alright, there is... I don't know what to call it, like a glitch or bad RNG or what. There's a spot coming up here where you can randomly, quote-unquote, die through absolutely no fault of your own. And I have lost runs to it. Because it's at the end of this pretty lengthy parkouring and powering sequence. It's that ring up ahead. Sometimes you can just simply be too low to grab it for no reason. That didn't happen this time, thankfully. Alright, third fight with the Morning King. We will do 2.5 combos here. We used to only do 2. It's actually faster to do 2.5. I'll explain after the fight. Again, walk to the right a little bit.
For the light! I'm ready!
Okay, that didn't work right. that fight. Okay, so each successive hit in the combo does more damage, but the last hit in the combo, you'll notice it in the second combo there, while it does the most damage, it's cinematic, and it's a while before you regain control of the Prince, so if you block cancel out of the combo before the final hits, and start up a new combo, which I did with the first combo, but not the second one, it's actually better DPS. Alright, I have another airwalk here. I inadvertently found the perfect setup for it. I was so happy when I did. Gotta count audio
We're
cues
getting
again.
close. We are almost through this place.
That was right. Yes, it was. Okay. Yeah, I've had people join my stream during that skip, and they think the stream is frozen.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a second there.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a second there.
Okay, good. That right there is the one charge roll against the warrior. So, very nice that we don't have to waste time pushing him back towards the job. I think I've lost every charge roll against the Hunter now. There's a funny little glitch that can happen after this fight. I'll show it off. It loses time, but we're on a bad run anyway. If you jump out of the room too early, that happens. You get taken to the back of it. The way to avoid it is simply to wait to jump out until the first line of dialogue shows up in the subtitles. Wait here, because that blob. That blob was very close to eating me. There's a tiny little skip here that I'm probably going to owe the charity some money for doing. Nope, got it. That skip's going around and grabbing a ring and coming down. It saves about 10 seconds. I'm gonna wait for the blob to go to the left again. I think I probably could have gone up while it was on the right of me. Yeah, you'll notice the corrupted air there making everything flash. It takes a long time to die to that. Now, this should be a drop that kills you, except you enter the cutscene dropping in like that. I used to grip fall into that until I realized you land from a fall at the beginning of the cutscene, so of course you can just jump down. Elika jumps down ahead of us, and hello, look who's here.
Elika, go!
We do not have Elika's help for the first phase of this fight. But we can still throw him. And that is the only time we are able to charge the Morning King. Well, until we get to the bottom. We do have Elika's help in this phase of the fight. It's not really that important. Just gotta go up and over, back up, charge him. If you're really unlucky, I mean, I say really unlucky, it's not a major time loss, but he can actually charge you after you go up and over him. You just change from doing an Elika combo to a throw combo if that happens. So now we're on the lower level of the ballroom. Oh, that's not good. I overmashed. I actually have not made this mistake in quite some time. Not in this fight, anyway. I can't charge him while I'm hurt, so that's why I'm not. That's what the redness at the corners of the screen means. Although winning a charge heals me, so I can just make it work now. What happened was I overmashed the input to charge, and oh, I'm not even lined up. This is so weird. This is so weird. I think this will be okay. This is so weird. Yeah, okay. That should have taken a million years last time. It should just be 3 throw combos. What happened was I overmashed the input to charge him, and it made me get the single button QTE wrong. Also, magic and swords and Elika's magic doesn't hurt him, but spikes on a big chair do. Go figure. This cutscene, yep, there's the big frame rate drop. Alright, so that's the last fight. It's just parkouring the rest of the way. I'm hoping this was at least sub 50 still. There's no way this is sub-estimate.
Right now the tracker has you at about 43 minutes and change, so you're doing good. No.
43? Are you kidding me? We might just barely make it.
Bless RNG in chat for that one.
No kidding. I just didn't do a very small skip that saves about 2 seconds. It's nothing anyone would notice anyway. You know, when it comes to skips, I tend to think about them being in like 3 different classes. There's the kind of skips anybody can recognize, and this run has quite a few of those. There's the sort of skips you would recognize if you've played the game, and there's also the sort of skips you would only recognize if you've run the game. The one I was referring to a moment ago is one you would only know if you've run the game.
Don't play fair, do they?
I think we're gonna just barely be overestimated, because it's about 3 minutes from the start of that cutscene to the end, unless I die again. So the end of the epilogue very much recalls the ending of the base game, where you have to maneuver around a giant area, avoiding Ahriman and his black sludge. These buttons of light shield you from the black sludge. Okay, it is about 1 minute until time from when we hit this blue plates. This is the third of the plates, unless I die, the third of the plates that were in the base game. You know, praise or Mazd or whoever you want to praise that the yellow plate is not in the DLC. I always hated the yellow plate. And do another shorting of a ring run here to give you a blind corner. But, you know, I know what's on the other side. It's a power plate. Can't short this ring run, because you always have to double jump to reach this blue plate. Yeah, this parkouring sequence here is basically the quote-unquote final boss for the game, and it's very long, and obviously very large time loss if you mess up. And I have lost runs to it, but certainly in my casual first playthrough I messed up a lot. Time is very, very soon. It's when I land on the balcony. And time.
Through it. I think we're clear.
Still waiting for the stream to finish up, but
too strong.
you are
Just because he's growing stronger doesn't mean...
If I couldn't stop him now, how can I ever hope to? Ahriman is free, and he will only grow more powerful.
We have to get out of here.
4703.
If we cross the desert, there's a city 2-3 days from here. Or there's a
Oh,
we could cross the sea.
I
find
knew
someone
I was
away.
just gonna miss it based on what you said.
May our Maz watch over you.
Elika, you can't do this alone.
I used to estimate this at
Well, for a
40.
rusty run, that was fantastic.
Well, for a rusty run, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm satisfied. It obviously could have gone a lot better, but, you know, third try Hamamscap was not ideal. But at least we got the Garden Airwalk quickly, and, you know, 2 Marowak, there's a consistent setup for it now. Yeah, not too bad at all. That was a lot of fun.
Anyone you want to shout
Thanks for
out or
having me.
any other things you're up to?
Anyone want to shout out or any other?
Sure, yeah, there's lots of cool people in the Prince of Persia community. We, you know, have our Discord server for all the various games and all that. Smathflax is the world record holder for the base game of this. He just set a new world record, I believe. Time zones and midnights. This week. He said it this week. Let's call it that. And Samabam, he's another runner of the base game, and Drepfox, and Robbie, aka Epic Dude Guy, was the world record holder for this run when I first started, and he helped me learn the run quite a bit, so shoutouts to Robbie. And, yeah.
Thank you, in that case, thank you again, EmeraldAly, for an amazing run of Prince of Persia.
EmeraldAly for an
Yeah,
amazing
I had a blast watching it. I hope everybody in chat did too. GG, my friend. GG.